If you are a student or a newly qualified social worker and you've ever felt confused about PLO, what does it mean? What are people talking about when they mention it? How do I understand the process and how do I explain it to other people? Then this video is for you. This is an example of one of my videos inside a whole series on court skills that can be found in my membership, The Collective. If you want to know more, click below and I talk to you about the collective, everything else that is inside the membership at the end of the video. So here it is.
Hello, welcome back to your Court Skills series. This is part of the Collective membership, your online learning and development hub. If you are not a member, this is a little insight into some of the training that we have. And if you are a member, you'll know that this is one video from many in the Court Skills series. We're talking about care orders, legal planning meetings, understanding threshold, and so much more about attending court as a newly qualified social worker. And if you are new here, you're not yet a member, this is going to be a really informative video to help you in practice, clarify your understanding of public law outline. And at the end of this video, I'll tell you a little bit more about the membership if you are ready to join. So we're going to start with this. What is public law outline? One of the members came to me and said, can you do a video on PLO? Because I've got a family going into PLO and I don't really understand it. I don't know what's happening. The idea that we can have a family in PLO, doing inverted commas there, is misleading. When social workers talk about public law outline within offices, there is most commonly a complete misinterpretation of what they are talking about, and that is what we are going to unpick today. Public law outline refers to three words that are included in Practice Direction 12A, Care Supervision and other Part 4 proceedings Guide to Case Management, which is issued by the Ministry of Justice and is a mouthful, as you can tell. Public law outline is not necessarily a particular description of a task, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Practice Direction 12A. You can see on this page, which you can access as a link below, the key stages of the court process. It talks about the contents of practice direction. And the second line down, I think I can do a little pointer with this, but I'm not sure. It says public law outline. Public law, because it's talking about public law rather than private law. And the word outline means a general description or plan showing the essential features of something, but not the detail. So it's going to outline something about public law. This is again from our statutory guidance, and it talks about the key stages of the court process. It says the public law outline set out in the table below contains an outline of, number one, the order of the different stages of the process. Number two, the matters to be considered at the main case management hearings. And number three, the latest timescales within which the main stages of the process should take place in order to resolve the proceedings within 26 weeks. So the public law outline is talking about numerous parts of the process, pre-proceedings, but also when you enter proceedings. That's really important to share, because I want to remind you that the public law outline is not a term to be used to represent pre-proceedings. It is not, as many social workers describe it, and I used to describe it like this as well, it is not a description of the steps that we take before we go to court. It is not this catch-all term, we're in PLO, we're going into PLO. We've got a family that are in PLO. I think we need to be in PLO. We're completely misusing that term in offices. And like I said, I used to do this all the time before I unpicked what it really meant. So PLO is misused, most commonly in social work offices, when it is used to describe what is actually known as pre-proceedings, the steps that we take before we initiate care proceedings. We are calling these things in practice PLO meetings, PLO processes, when in actual fact we should be talking about pre-proceedings. And this is our statutory guidance on court orders and pre-proceedings. It talks about the process taken if a decision is made at legal planning meetings to undertake a formal pre-proceedings process. Now, members, you have a video all about legal planning meetings. what happens in them, how you can present at them, some of the tips and advice for when you're at legal planning meetings. That is the first step. There might be a decision made, there might be an outcome that you're going to enter the formal pre-proceedings process. That's what we need to call it. We need to stop calling it PLO. Why do we need to stop calling it PLO? Because there'll be people who are saying, oh, Vicki, we get it. We know it's not PLO, but it kind of is. And that's just what we call it in practice and it's easier. I'm going to disagree with that. We already have so many problems in social work with jargon. We need to say what we mean. Because I guarantee that some of you watching this will go into your office, ask a random social worker, experienced manager to explain where the term PLO comes from, and they won't be able to explain it. Not because they're incompetent, but because misinformation breeds and it becomes habit. It forms part of the language, the dialect that we have within our offices, and we do not question it. And what happens when we don't question things? We end up not understanding processes. We nod our head and then we leave rooms in panic, Googling what to do, worrying about the next steps. And I've talked about this in the other videos, like the legal planning meetings. When you have confidence in your knowledge, you have clarity in your next steps. When you don't have confidence in your knowledge, because you are relying on jargon and misinformation and things without structure, you are going to lack clarity in your next steps. And this is one of the most important reasons why we need that, because you can't advocate for others if you don't understand processes yourself. You know, when I have been a social worker working within care proceedings, I often found I was in the position where I was translating legal jargon for the children and families I was working with. And there's other videos that we've got inside the hub that talk about the complications of the relationship when you're a social worker in court and you're also still working with a family. But what was really clear that was when I didn't understand court processes or pre-proceedings processes, I couldn't then explain them to the children and families that I was working with. And if I couldn't explain them, if I didn't understand them, I certainly wasn't in a position to advocate. And when justice, social justice, is such a big part of our job, when advocacy is so important, we need to be able to do that. So hopefully that was helpful for you in terms of thinking around PLO, how it's used, whether we should be using it as a phrase and what we can use instead. If you are a member of the collective, you will know that you have an entire library of resources specifically around court skills, in addition to all the other libraries inside the Learning Hub. To access that, a reminder, you can go to socialworksorted.com/the collective. You will see this page here. I've circled it where it says members area. You click Learning Hub and you will get access to the Learning Hub. You'll see all the icons of the different resources inside there. You can scroll to the icon that says court skills and you will be able to see all the videos that are inside that section. If you are thinking, wow, that will be really helpful for me and you feel ready to join, the collective is a monthly membership for newly qualified social workers. You join at £15 a month. You can cancel anytime because I'm not into anything that ties you into a contract that you can't get out of. If you want to join, you go to socialworksorted.com/the collective. Where it is circled there, you click that button, I'm ready to join, and it will take you through to the page that you can see. You can join every month as a recurring subscription. Again, you can cancel anytime, or you can sign up for a 3-month membership, which is a one-off payment. As well as court skills, inside the Learning Hub, we have got resources on direct work, understanding legislation, chairing meetings, undertaking home visits. You have access to our weekly live Q&A, which is inside the Facebook group, and you also have access to a live Q&A via Zoom, which takes place on the last Wednesday of every month, and the recordings are inside there. We have mindfulness, we have resources on understanding how to find balance in social work, managing stress, managing and implementing boundaries. There is so much inside there. And if you are interested in this as a learning and development lead, if you would like group access, which there are discounts on for student cohorts, apprenticeship cohorts, or Social Work Academy cohorts, then please get in touch with me to find out more. My email is vicky@socialworksorted.com. I'm going to put it in the bottom of this video in the description box, as well as links to other free resources. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if this was helpful. Remember to like this video, leave me a comment on your reflections and thoughts, and subscribe to this page for more.